Hi everybody, it's Kelly with Soulful Creations, and today's tutorial will be on the Simple Wallet Raw Edge version by Simple Artful Stuff. Now, this is one that I made, and isn't it like the cutest thing? Oh my gosh, look at that. And you get 10 slots for cards. So, and there's room to put bills in there as well. So you can just pretty much just take this out with you or just stick it in your bag and go. It is so cute. I mean, I just could make a million of these. But anyway, so today I'm going to be making one out of a floral print vinyl. And let me just mention, you can make this out of vinyl, leather, cork, any material that does not fray will work with this raw edge version wallet. So and we're going to be introducing some new materials that are new to me, and hopefully they're new to some of you, because I have been making bags for a while and I'm used to using like Decovil light and from Simple Artful Stuff, she's now introduced me to Salpa. And Salpa is this bonded leather material that is just like so nice to work with. That's what stabilized this wallet. And so you see like you have the structure, but it's still not super hard and, stiff. It has movement, and that's what I love about it. So I think I'm going to be incorporating more Salpa into my bag making after using it in this wallet, and hopefully you will too. Now, I am familiar with Heat and Bond, and some of you who haven't used that, Heat and Bond is like a heat activated adhesive. So you iron it onto your material, and then you peel back the paper backing, and there's an adhesive that you have to activate again with heat by applying it. So it kind of sandwiches two pieces of material together. So we'll be using that today too. So anyway, let's get started making the Simple Wallet by Simple Artful Stuff. Okay, so here is the vinyl that I'm going to be using today for my wallet. This is some vinyl from So Pretty Vinyl, and it's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's just a nice firm type of vinyl, and it works perfect for this wallet. So I have already fused my Heat and Bond on the back, so you can see this is the paper backing that's on the Heat and Bond. I have not peeled the paper backing off. So this is where I just took my iron that you hear it's timing off right now. I took my iron, and you may need to put either a piece of put Teflon sheet over, or some type of pressing cloth or whatever. Test your vinyl first, and then you can just press it. No steam. I didn't use any steam, and it just adheres it to the back of the vinyl. And then this is the Salpa I was talking about. So it's already been cut out. These slots here are help to get the shape of the wallet, okay? And then we have our midpoints cut out, because that's going to help us also in placement. So this has been cut out. Anne was very kind to send me a piece that was already pre-cut, but she does provide detailed instructions on how to cut this out on a Cricut or whatever cutting machine that you prefer to use. But the instructions, I think, are specifically for the Cricut, and so I will be playing around with that once I get more Salpa. So this material, like I said, it feels really soft. It has a nice feel to it, but it does provide a lot of stability. So we have the Salpa. So now what I need to do is I need to peel the paper backing off of this Heat and Bond. So we just gonna peel this right off. Okay. And as you can see, we have not cut out the final shape of the wallet yet. So we just have this rectangular piece right now. So you can see it's not sticky yet. We're going to activate the adhesive with more heat. So when we place our Salpa on like this, and I'm lining up those center points there, making sure everything's nice and straight. Then I'm going to take it to my heat press, and I'm going to put the Teflon sheet over, and I'm going to press that on. Okay. Another thing I want to mention before I take this over to my heat press is there's a template. So she provides this template, and she suggests that you cut it out in cardstock. So I have my template here. You can see that it has to cut out of the shape of the wallet. This works really well if you have a print and you want to make sure that you get a certain part of that print on the wallet. So you can use this to cut out. There's another piece to cut your vinyl, but if you're using a print and you want to get that perfect placement, you can go ahead and use this piece too. And that's what I did, because I wanted the bulk of this flower to go on the flat part. So I used this cut out here to cut out my vinyl. So that's just something to think about if you have a print. And if it's a solid, you don't need to really worry about that. You can use either piece. But anyway, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take it over to my heat press, and I'm going to press my Salpa on, and then I'll be back to, we're going to cut out the shape of the wallet. So I'll be right back. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention before I head over to my heat press is you want to make sure. So this is the end that I want my flap on. Okay, so this will be the end for my flap. Pay attention on how you place your Salpa, because this end, you have these notches here. This end is wider than this end. So you want to make sure that your Salpa matches that. So you see I have less down here than I have up here. So you want the shorter end here towards the flap part. So that's important. If it doesn't matter, like if it's a solid print, if it's solid, it really doesn't matter. But if you're using a print and you want a certain part on your flap, then you've got to make sure you pay attention to that. So I have mine in place properly now, and now I'm going to go press it on, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back after fusing the Salpa onto my vinyl, and now what I've done is I've clipped the template on. So make sure you line up the notches here, okay? And that means you have it situated just right. Okay, and so because if I would have had the reverse, then they wouldn't line up properly. So make sure you line everything up, your centers, these notches, and then we're just going to trace that. We're going to trace this shape out. So you can just use a pen, whatever marking tool you prefer. So I'm just going to trace this. The clips just help hold it in place so it's not shifting. Okay, and once you get it all traced out, now I can remove these. Okay, and you should have it traced out like that, and got a good portion of that flower is going to be showing just like I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this out. Now you can use your ruler and the rotary cutter to cut these straight lines first, and just cut around, and then use scissors or sharp scissors to cut the rounded edges. Or if you're like me, and I just prefer to just cut with scissors. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to start cutting it. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut around, following the line, just being as neat as I can. Yes, Jazzy?
You have an insane trust in scissors.
You know, maybe it's just the generation that I grew up in, because, you know, we were taught in preschool, kindergarten, we were taught to cut with scissors. So I don't know why, I just still like to cut with scissors.
That was just to skip my generation. Because, man, if I was cutting this out right now, it would not even look like a wallet.
And it's just something so satisfying to me to just cut, with the scissors. And just take your time. And I just let the scissors just glide around those curves. And just keep smooth lines.
Maybe it's also because you used to cut hair.
Yeah, I guess call me Kelly Scissorhands. Okay, so we gotta go around. All right, so we're almost around. Sometimes me and that rotary just don't get along. Okay, there we go. Not too shabby, right? Alrighty, so look at that. So now what we need to do is we're going to crease these, the folds in place. So what did I do with my little roller thing? I just had it. See how when you're doing a million projects at once, I literally just had it instead of that. Oh, here it is. I knew I moved it. I knew I saw it. Okay, so this is what I want. I don't have a real cute fancy one. I have one that I stole out of my husband's toolbox. So it looks very very masculine. So anyway, so where these folds are, we're going to crease that. So just take your rotary and I'm just gonna get those creases in place real good. Get that shape in there. Do the same thing for the top here. Okay, just like that. So we have our creases there. And now we see our wallets start to take shape. Isn't that cute? That's gonna be so cute. Look at that. I really like that. Okay, so anyway, so now what we need to do is we're going to paint the edge of the Salpa, okay? Because we don't want this brown to show. So we're going to paint it black because the card slots I'm using, it's black. So we don't want the brown to show. And then also, here's another product that is new to me here. This is a self-adhesive lining. So it's black as well. So we don't want any brown peeking through. So we're going to edge paint the Salpa. Okay, so I'm going to grab my edge paint. And again, Anne was very kind to send me this little applicator. It's almost like a little Q-tip applicator because it just applies the paint much easier than the little roller kind that I use. So I'm going to grab this little board that I use here, and I'm just using, for this part, I'm just using this edge coat. I have the Giardini kind too, but I think this one works better for this application. So I'm just going to dip this in here, and we're going to do about a good 3/8 of an inch, and just really get that painted like that. Okay. And the little vinyl in these little slots as well. Okay, so you see how easy that goes on with this little applicator? It just really smooths on easily, and you get a thinner coat so it dries faster. Oh, I dipped it too far. I couldn't see. So you really get a much thinner coat, and then it'll dry faster. So I might need to put 2 just to make sure nothing's going to peek through. But we'll see how it looks after it dries. I think what the first one I did, I only ended up doing 1. I didn't have to do a second coat. So it shouldn't be any difference. Okay, so we're just going to go around and really get that. So we're going to do this part first, and then any edge painting that I do for the vinyl, I'm going to let this dry a little, and then I'll go back and I'll do that. And I might use the Giardini for that, if I'm saying that name right. Giardini. That's what it looks like to me. I'll show you that bottle later. Okay. So just continue and get that painted, and it's already drying really fast. And I think I got this one, this edge coat. I don't know. I think I got it from Tandy honestly, it may have come from just Joann's. I can't remember. I've had it for a while. Okay. Yeah, it looks like 1 coat pretty much will do. Just go with a little more there. Okay, so that's good. And I'm going to let this dry. Let this dry. And then I'll come back, and then I'm also going to edge paint the vinyl, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll just keep it moving, making this simple wallet with the raw edge. So we'll be back. Okay, so now I have painted my Salpa, and it's dry. A fan works wonders for drying this so quickly. And like I said, that applicator makes it go on nice and thin, so it dries super fast. Now, I found from doing my last one that doing the edge painting, I do better if I use this particular tool. So I'm going to use this, and I'm using the Giardini paint. This is just comes from the color set. This color set here. And I got this one from, I think, the Buckle Guy. Yeah, ordered this from the Buckle Guy. And I also have the base coat that you usually apply before you apply the paint. So this one, the Max Matte base coat dense. So usually you apply this first, 1 or 2, 3 coats maybe, and then you apply the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the base coat on, and then I'm going to apply the edge paint, and I'm going to let that dry. And then let me just see here. I usually I don't like working out of the big bottle, so I keep a smaller container of it here. And it's just a little easier to work with. So I pour some in here. Then that way I'm not drying, I'm not keeping the bottle open, the big bottle open for a long period of time. And I always keep a little rag. So this is my edge paint rag. And I keep that nearby. And also a little water. But yeah, so I'm just going to use this to apply that. And I just apply a thin coat on the edge here. And just let that dry. I'll probably do like at least 2 coats. And let it dry. And it builds up. It builds up a little on the edge. And then it allows you to apply your paint, and the paint doesn't absorb, especially when you're dealing with vinyl. The paint sometimes absorbs into the vinyl. And then I have this little sandpaper, and it's very light sandpaper. And once I get a nice little buildup of the base coat, I just give it a light sanding, and then I apply the paint, and it gives a smoother finish. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll be back after I get this applied and it dries, and then we'll move on to talking about the different accents that she has for this wallet. So we'll be back after I do this. All right, so now I have edge painted, and I think it came out really good. So, and it's dry. So now let's talk about the accent pieces. So these are pieces that we can, like on this one that I've done. So this is one accent. This is I believe this one's called the wave accent. So it goes all around. It goes from the flap all the way around, okay? And it centers up here. So it just gives a nice little contrast to the wallet. There's some that are just cover this portion that don't go all the way around. So choose your accent. I think there's 5 of them. And then also this one, including this little card pocket that you can put on the back, which I think is so cute. So you can put a little card pocket back here. It has this little flap here. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm just going to put the this card pocket on the back. So you do that before you put your lining. So this one, it's going to go about a 1/4 inch, down from this. So you have this fold here and then this one, right? So the second fold from the flap. So we're going to I'm just going to mark that 1/4 inch. Okay. Mark that 1/4 inch there. And then I'm going to put I took some of the self-adhesive lining, and I put it onto the back of my pieces. You don't have to line these pieces, but I did. Now she does suggest if you're going to do this, then use some heat and bond first, okay? So that it stays on pretty permanently. So just make sure that if you choose to do that, if you choose to line yours, you don't have to use the self-adhesive line either. You can use any lining if you want to. You can put it on with the heat and bond. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put some double-sided tape here on. So I'm just using a 1/8 inch double-sided tape, so I can get this on. Okay, a little here on the sides, and here. Okay, and then the same for the flap here. Just gonna put some here on the flap, right at the top here. Okay. And now we're not going to top stitch. If you wanted to, I guess you could add some faux top stitching on the flap if you felt that looked better for you. If you don't like leaving it without any stitching there. So before we put it on here, we could just top stitch around. We could just top stitch around this part. And maybe that's what I'll do. And then maybe I'll also give a little top stitch around right here. I think that's what I'm going to do, just to make it look like it's, you know, been top stitched. So I'm going to do that. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to just give a little back stitch here. So it's pretty thin because there's nothing to it but this vinyl. So, but I think it's going to look nice. So used to seeing top stitching on the flaps. Okay. So this is just something else you can do. But you certainly don't have to. Okay. Okay. So I kind of like that. Okay. So now, so I just put a little row of top stitching right there at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing across the top of the card pocket here. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, so it's just really for the aesthetics. Okay, so it serves no purpose other than that. So it's just a preference. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Same thing with the lining. You don't have to do it. Okay, that just gives that a little melt. All right, so now we're ready to get this onto our wallet. So we want to make sure we center this on, make sure it's about the same on both sides. So I'm not, and then I'm just giving it a little peeksy here, okay? Like that. So now I'm going to go ahead. I want to put my snaps on. So I've already marked there. I used the template to mark the placement of for the snap. So I'm going to go ahead and punch the hole for the snap. And I'm going to do the same thing for this piece. Okay. And now I have these little snaps here. And I have this little setting tool and this hammer. So these setting tools came with the snaps. So one is for the male piece and one is for the female piece. Got it backwards. Male piece, female piece. And this here. And then I have my little snaps. So we're going to put the female portion or any portion here onto the flap. So I have, isn't that the cutest little snap right there? Okay, and we have that piece on the back, and we're just going to set that here, and then we're going to put this piece right there in the little hole that is there, and then we're just going to give it a couple of taps with the hammer and make sure it's set well. Okay, and it is. And then we'll do the same thing for this one. This one has this piece, so it has one with the longer post that goes here through the back like that, and then we have that. Now if it's too thin for this piece, this post is sitting up too much here, I'm just going to take a little bit of stabilizer, and I don't want it to be any bigger because I don't want it to show through. So I'm actually just going to take this little piece. I might need more than one. I just want to build this up a little. So I'm just going to cut out the smallest little pieces here. I might just need 2 small little pieces here. Okay. I know this is kind of tedious here, but I think that's not going to fit good if I don't. It's going to be too loose. Okay. And we're going to, I know these pieces are so small, but I'm just really just trying to build this up a little here. So I'm just punching a hole in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to stick the piece through. If I can. So add 1, and then I'm going to add 2. Whoops. And drop it. And hopefully it doesn't stick out too much. Let's see here. Yep. Not really. I'll trim it down. Trim it down some so you can't really see much of it once I have it on here. Just trimming the extra down. Okay, so that's good. So now less is poking out, which is what I wanted. So now we're going to turn this over, and now I can put the little shorter piece on. I'm going to set that on there. That's much, much better. Okay, set that there. Now I'll use this piece, place it on top. Oops. My hands don't work as good as they used to. Okay. And then I'll give that a cut. There we go. That's much. So see, and you really don't see much on the back. That's going to be inside, so nobody will see that. Okay. So that's if your vinyl's a little bit thinner, or whatever material you're using. If it's a little bit thinner, just bulk it up with a little stabilizer. Okay. So now we're ready to get this in place. So I'm going to take the paper off the double-sided tape, and we'll get this centered on. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. If you want to be a little more, you can mark that center, but that looks good to me. So I got the flap in place. Now I can snap this together. Snap that together and make sure that this is straight. And I could take the paper off and get that pressed down. Okay. And give that a look-see and see. Okay. So now I'm going to get that on. Make sure it's not in the way. Okay, so I'm going to sew my flap on at 1/4 inch. Make sure you don't sew into your card pocket there. I'm just going to leave the tails to the back and tie them off. Well, no, I'm just going to go ahead and backstitch. It's not that serious, right? So just a little stitch across, maybe even just a tiny bit less than 1/4 inch. Okay, and we got the flap on. We have the flap there. So cute. Now we can do, we're going to sew this part on. Same thing. I'm going to do 1/8. I think I'm just going to do 1/8 of an inch all around. That is so cute. Cute little pocket there. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So now we're back. Take a look at that pocket again. It's so cute. So now we're ready to put our self-adhesive lining on. So we're going to carefully remove this paper on the back, a little at a time. Just going to do a little at a time, like that. And we're going to start here at the flap. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you don't want your not the male part, is it? Yeah, if you don't want your male snap down here, the back of it to show on your lining, then you might want to go ahead and put your snaps on now. Like I did on this one. On this one, the snaps, they're underneath the lining, okay? Because I didn't want that to show. But my snaps, they're all black, and it's not going to be a big deal with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put my lining on first. But that's just something to consider. Another thing to consider is depending on the size of your snap, like if you're using a magnetic snap that's much bigger, you might want to put your snap on after you've top stitched, okay? And the one on the flap, because you're going to not have enough room to top stitch if your snap is too big. But my snaps are small, so I shouldn't have any problem. So I'm going to start up here on the flap, and I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm just leaving just a smidgen. Okay, and I'm just going to smooth it out as I go and just do a little at a time. Okay, and you really want to get it into those creases as you smooth. Okay, because that helps the shape. So really work it in. Really work it in to those creases there. Okay, so just going to use a little something. Make sure you get it in there. You don't want any wrinkling. Okay, so just take your time. Keep it smooth. Okay. Smooth as possible. Okay. Just work your way, like I said, get it into those creases there. Well, there we go. Alrighty. So we got that on. Just smooth it down. Make sure you don't get all the little wrinkles out. There we go. And there. You see all the creases there. Okay. Looks good. Looks good, doesn't it? So there's our lining in. We throw this away, and we have it. We have a wallet that's getting close to being done. Okay, so now what we need to do is I'm going to get my template here. This is for my snap placement. So I'm just going to lay that on. So mark my snap placement here. Okay. And I'm going to punch the hole. And like I said, if your snap is too big, you want to save this for after you top stitch, or else you might not have enough room. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get this in place here. Oops, didn't punch all the way through. You got to really push it through that lining there. Okay. And get this piece on. Press that down really well. Get it on set on this. And then get that. Now what I do with the hammer, Jackson? I just do it with the hammer. I just had it. When I tell you things can just disappear on me so quick. here it is. Right where I put it. Jazzy gets tired of me. You're not supposed to laugh, Jasmine.
Oh.
Okay, so that's on. And now we're going to use that snap to place the other. So just get it all lined up where it's supposed to go. Make sure everything is looking good and straight. Okay, we want it nice and so we let it looking on the sides, we want it to look nice and straight. Okay, we don't want it to look skewed. And I'm just going to press down on my snap, make a little indentation so I can see where I want this to go. And I think about right there is where we want it to go. That look about right there. Okay, so that's about where we want it. And now I'm going to punch the hole for that. And we will get that set. And this time, I think I'm good. I don't need any extra because I have the vinyl and everything. I think it'll be just fine. And then we're going to get that set there. Okay. All right. So let's just make sure that it looks good and it snaps properly. Yeah, that looks good. Look at how cute. It looks so cute on the back too. Okay, so now we have our snaps on. Now we're going to get ready to get our, we have our accordion card slots here. And we got to mark where we're going to place those. Okay, so let me go ahead, clear off some space here and check the measurements to make sure I'm going to put it in the right place. And then we'll be back to install the card slots. All right, so I checked the measurements and I have marked where we're going to place the card slots. So read the pattern for the measurements for that. And then I placed double-sided tape on the back of these flaps here on the card slots, so on each side. So make sure you have your card slots oriented the right way. So the flap is here. I have the card slots up this way. So we're going to just start placing it right at those marks that I drew. So I'm going to remove the backing from the double-sided tape and I'm going to line up this edge and make sure you don't want it to go right off the edge. Just leave the tiniest little gap there so it's not going to be seen from the other side. And I'm just going to use a couple of clips to hold that in place. And then we're going to do the other side. Okay. And get that one in place. And it'll seem a little awkward because it wants to push up against you. And but you just make it act right. Okay, so we have that one in place. Now we're going to have to kind of turn this down like that. Okay, and we're going to have to get the other two. So we're just pulling it down and getting it lined up. And like I said, it's going to seem a little bit awkward, but once you get it in place, it will be just fine. So get it stuck and then add your clip there to hold it, and then get the rest of it. Okay. There we go. And then the final side here. And in the description of this video, you're going to find a list of resources, a link that has a list of resources on where to get these materials, the Salpa, these card slots, that's it, mainly those things that are unusual. Okay, so look at, oh my, so just get it situated. Okay, it's so cute. Okay, so now we're ready to top stitch. Now, if you have a cylinder arm, you can top stitch from this side. But if you don't, if you have a flatbed like me, you're going to have to top stitch from the inside. So your bobbin thread will be on the right side. So just make sure everything is good before you go. And it does get a little bit, we're going to be moving the card slots over as we sew. Watch out for anything on this side, especially if you did this pocket, because there's not a lot of room on the side. So we don't want to sew over that. So I'm going to start, find a place to start. And I think I'm going to start right here at the bottom. And I'm just going to top stitch at 1/8. I'm doing 1/8. You can do a little more if you choose, but I'm going to do 1/8. And we're going to get this top stitched, and then we'll be done. Okay. So just take your time. Take your time. Move your card slots over. Don't be afraid to press that down out of the way. Okay. Just keep going. And just kind of roll it as you go. And hopefully my stitches are looking good. I think Jasmine she would tell me otherwise. But...
Ooh, no, I'm just kidding.
Jasmine scared me.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, she's so bad. Now she put that bad juju in the air. Okay. Okay. Just try to keep it as even as possible. Okay, now coming back towards my card slot, so I'm going to just start pushing it over a little, pressing down on the back of the wallet, and just keep going. Okay. right, so I'm getting around to the beginning. And I'm just going to take a couple of stitches past where I started, kind of lock them in place. Okay. There we go. This. Gosh. Simple wallet. Look at that. It's done, looks good. The top stitching looks good. I'm so happy with that. I really like this. Isn't that adorable? Oh my God, it's so cute. It's so cute. Oh, I love it. So anyway, that's it. We are done. This is the Simple Wallet by Simple Artful Stuff. Check out her website, you guys. She has some cute little projects that work up so fast. And this is one of them. So the link will be in the description. And as well as, like I said, those resources that Anne provides for you on where to get some of these materials. And there's also a link for a YouTube where she answers some of like 3 of the most common questions. So it's very useful. Check it out. Watch the video, make many of these wallets, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you for joining me at Soulful Creations once again. Have a good day.